If you do truck driver recruiting in any capacity, whether you're a carrier, third-party agency, staffing agency, then you're going to want to check out this new software. It's DriveLineRecruit.com. Now, there's a carrier sign up and then there's an agency sign up. The agency sign up, of course, is for third-party recruiting, and that's what we're going to be going over in this video. If you'd like to see the carrier side of things, then go to the next video. We are going to be covering carrier profiles, job profiles, driver profiles, how to manage your recruiters within the system. You have your recruiter roster, your own recruiter training center. So we have a setup in there showing recruiters how to operate the system and use it. We have it for the agency admins as well and team leads, but we also give you a section to be able to put in where you want your recruiters to go and learn how to recruit for your agency. So we're going to be going over those one by one, and I'm going to show you what they look like, and leave me some comments if you have any questions.
All right, this is going to be a little bit of a preview for the agency side of DriveLineRecruit.com. Of course, you have your dashboard here where you can come in and post updates for your team. Trucking news and open and close jobs will show here. You have a drivers page where it'll show a list of all drivers that all of your recruiters are working with. You can toggle on and off whether you want your recruiters just to see their own drivers or if you want them to see all drivers. The lead pool is where drivers will go if they don't have a recruiter assigned to them, and of course you can filter here to find specific drivers. And then once you submit your driver to a carrier, you're able to go and filter here if drivers are hired, if their files were closed. And then of course the to review is if you have your recruiter submitting to their team lead, they'll go on this list, and then the team lead will look everything over, and then the driver will be approved to submit to the carrier. The jobs, you have all of these filter options here. The my jobs are going to be jobs that the recruiters or users in general decided to advertise on drivelinejobs.com, so it'll filter and just show them those jobs. And then we have the carriers here. Once again, got your filters and recruiters. So each agency can set up their own recruiting center, and you can do either one of these views. You can do the default DriveLine view or the Academy view, which is set up a lot like school. And you can come in and customize these tabs and everything, so you can really customize this to be able to train your recruiting team on how you want them to recruit. The DriveLine platform overview is where they can go and see how to use the platform in general. Then we have our tools section. They can do Ask Rita. Rita is attached to the jobs and carriers, not the drivers. It's also attached to the recruiters sections, so your training and DriveLine's training and all of the knowledge and everything. So anything they ask Rita, it's going to pull from those sections for knowledge. There's a QR code generator that you can put your application link in, and it will create a QR code for you to put on bumper stickers, t-shirts, anything like that, business card. Resources, this is completely customizable for each agency. You can hide these from view, or if you decide you do want to use them, you just mark them back in and they go back in. Now, I will say that if you're just starting out, you might want to hide these and then pull them back in a little at a time. So trucking knowledge is just going to be general, FMCSA, PSP reports, just general trucking knowledge. Under your agency section, you're going to see your recruiter roster here, where you're able to keep up with all of your active recruiters. You can come and deactivate recruiters if needed, send them mass notifications, and these email templates here are where you're going to be able to update and edit the templates. Of course, the send recruiter notification, you can come in here and update this each time and send that out. You can also send a test email to yourself to see what that's going to look like. We have the recruiter applicants page. So right here, you're going to see this one says it's been rejected. So we're just going to come here and see that this is a new recruiter that has applied. We have many recruiters, people that have been in sales and insurance and stuff like that are interested in driver recruiting. Some of them do have driver recruiting experience. They're applying almost daily at DriveLineRecruit.com, and they go in a round robin to all of the agencies that work with us. So they will pop up in like this. It gives you a little summary. You can click here to view their actual resume they uploaded, and if you want to schedule an interview call or send them an invite to join your agency, you can do that right from here, or you can click pass, and then they will be sent off to another agency for them to review. Then we have The add driver section, you can upload applications like the 10th Street application PDF, and it parses all the data. Parsing meaning it's going to pull every single bit of data off that application and put it into the driver profile. You can import your applications from 10th Street if that's what you've been using and you want to switch over, or if you just want to make sure to have everything backed up here. This is where you can send generic company applications that are unassigned. So if you want to post ads for your recruiters and have leads come in, these are going to come in with no name on them. Of course, if you go to this tab, it's going to put your name, the user that's logged in, on anything that's put into the system. And then we've got add jobs. You can create jobs with AI just by uploading the information here. This is optional to put in the commission, but you can select the carrier, put the account name for reference, and then just upload any PDFs, Word docs, anything like that has to do with the job information, and it's going to try and create that for you, and of course go through and check everything and make sure it looks good. As far as the add carriers, same thing with the create with AI. You can just upload and it's going to put things where it thinks it needs to go. Then of course you can create them manually, or you can download the template and import via CSV. The agency settings page is very important. This is where your information is all housed with your logo and everything. The driver apps, this is where if you want to use the DriveLine full application, you can come in here and choose what you do and do not want to show up on the application and see what a preview of that's going to look like. If you have your own application system that you're using, your own lead app or anything, you're welcome to put that here, and then you can say use this link as my agency's main driver application, and that will override the DriveLine full app. So if you toggle that off, then it still will show up, but the DriveLine full app will be there as well. And then of course you can toggle here if you want your agency's information to be on the application. If you don't want it showing up, then it'll default back to DriveLine Recruit. The driver statuses, so that on the driver profiles there's drop downs. These just kind of show you where they would go in the in the grand scheme of things as far as the driver's page. So submitted to carrier, hired, closed files. And the agency team, this is going to show your team and what level they're at, admin or team lead. You can click on these to invite team leads. Every agency is given the free team leads depending on the tier that you chose, and so when you run out of those you would need to invite the team leads. And then of course here you can invite your admins and then add recruiters. So this right here is where you can add your recruiters as well. You have your own sign up link, so this is going to show Fast Track Hires is our demo here. It's going to have your branding on it, and when recruiters apply at this link they're going to come directly under your company, so you have your own link to be able to let recruiters apply. And of course agency team, you can come over here and choose to add your team leads or agency members. And I will show you here the customized profiles. You can come in, and for jobs and for carriers, the profiles have a lot of data fields on them. There might be some that you don't necessarily want, recruiter notes section or recruiter commission and payout. You can toggle those off here, and that will hide them for all users. Same thing with the carriers. And then the recruiters here, you can have your shared drivers on the drivers page. If this is toggled off, each recruiter has their own private workspace per driver and their own notes, so they're not seeing all the other recruiters' drivers. When you toggle it on, they can see all drivers, so it's toggled off by default. Over here we have require team lead approval before submitting the driver. So they're going to see submit to team lead on the driver profiles, and then once their team lead approves that driver to submit to the carrier, they will then see the submit to carrier button. Communications, this is attached up here to some buttons that'll show up if you put your chat information in here. If you put email, like if you use Microsoft, then you'll see an email and chat pop up here where you can just kind of quickly be able to go into those. Like some people use school and things like that. You can put your school community link here and then rename it school, and then you'll have that button up there. And then we have the demos. So what you're looking at right now is in the carriers, jobs, and drivers on this tutorial. Those are all demos, and all of those are seeded into every agency's account. But when you're done working with them, you can toggle them off so that you're only seeing your true actual drivers and carriers and jobs. But whenever you do your training for new recruiters or anything like that, you can come back and toggle that on at any time. So now that we've, recruiter commissions, this is where you can upload your commission sheet, and you can download the template here, fill that in and upload it, and your recruiters can come in and see at a glance their commissions. So now we'll look at the driver profiles. So you see how this right here, it's going to show you, app in. There's the recruiter. The recruiter can unassign this driver, so if they click that, it takes their name off and it puts the driver in the lead pool. And you're going to see the information right here for the driver, their phone number, email, city, state, zip. If there are any templates that are saved by that recruiter or user in general, then those templates will show up here, and you can email the driver directly from their profile. Here you can pull up Google Maps and, of course, check their location. If you want to associate a driver with a job, you click on that button, and it's going to pull up all the jobs that are in the system that the driver's zip code is in those job profiles if the agency has that set up. And then here we have send driver, the short application. This short application is connected to the summary section, so it's going to send the driver basically this little part right here. Of course, it's not going to say anything about any names of trucking companies, but when the driver fills that out, it's going to change to short app in, and it's going to fill in all this information, or the recruiter can click on edit and fill this in themselves. Then we have associate driver with job. Once again, this is a demo, so their jobs really aren't showing up here, but the jobs will all be listed. You can also click on show all jobs, and that will erase the zip code search so that it's not showing just the jobs with that zip code, because a lot of agencies, it'll probably take them some time to get all the jobs associated with zip codes. Then we have the notes section where team leads and recruiters can come in and make notes. These do show up on the drivers page, so I want to make you aware of that. Anything that you want to do privately, you click on private notes, and you come down here, click on edit, and you can add private notes in this section. And then documents. So you're able to upload documents for your drivers, and then you can come and pick the categories that you want them to go in, just to at a glance be able to see everything that you've got for that driver. Not all carriers require you to have documents for drivers, but it's nice to have this here to keep them organized, and especially if a driver gets turned down for a certain position, and then you want to go turn around and submit them to a different carrier, you already have all that with you. And then we have the audit trail. Of course, this is a demo driver, so there's nothing here right now, but this is going to show the timeline of the driver's profile. So if a driver's status is changed at any point, they're submitted to carriers, all of that's going to show up right here. Now we will go into the carriers. So we're going to go into the carrier profile. This, of course, is going to show the steps as far as submitting the driver. Now this, of course, we are in the agency admin view right here. So agencies are able to come in and update all of this information. They're able to put in the video on how to submit your driver, what type of application needs to be used, and of course those specific links, and the carrier submission email, how that needs to be formatted, what variables need to go in there. So you would just have driver's name, driver's phone number, email, anything like that you want in there. And then, of course, you can check the boxes of any of these that you want it to go to over at the carrier. And then you can send a test email. It will send to yourself, so you can see what that looks like. Database input, so if there's a Google spreadsheet or something like that that the driver's information needs to go on to, the next step of the submit driver flow, this is what's going to show up for the recruiter to be able to follow those steps. And then, of course, the status check link, it might be the same Google sheet, or it could be a different database. They need to go in to check their driver's status. So this is kind of the whole flow of submitting a driver to a carrier, all the way to doing the follow-ups. And so I'm going to put that up back there. this is all the information about the carrier. You can, when you create your carrier with AI, this is what I'm talking about. It's going to fill in. So if you upload all your carrier's information, it's going to do its best to fill in everything it possibly can, and then you'll just need to come down through here and add any kind of carrier overview videos, or format. Some of these things you might want to do, format with AI and kind of make it nice and neat, put things in bullets and organize it so that all of your carriers are, all the information kind of stays in the same spots, so it's easy for users to go and navigate and find that information when a driver asks a question. Now, the file auditing instructions, this is directly connected to the pre-qualification process on the driver profile. So when a driver is associated with a job, the pre-qual button is going to show up. And when a recruiter or user clicks on that, it's going to look at the carrier's qualifications, and it's also going to look at the qualifications listed on the job profile as well. So we're going to go in here to a job, and then I'll show you. Right down here is where the team leads and agency admins can come in and put that specific jobs requirements if it's different than what the carrier normally requires. So this is going to override what is on the carrier profile. And then of course we have equipment, pay scales. This is a document that can be uploaded, and then that can be selected on the jobs for each of the jobs that are associated with that carrier, and then attachments, of course. And then once any of these that have the gold around the button, the other users can't view. Only team leads and agency admins are able to view these buttons. So the recruiter can see, check driver status, which is going to take them to that database. No, let's see, it's going to take them. Hang on. Right here to the driver status check link. So that's what that button's going to do for them. And then of course the view jobs is going to take them to any of the jobs that are associated with that carrier. So now we'll take a look at the job profile. So up here we've just got a kind of quick reference that takes users to these specific sections in the carrier profile. Now it is going to open it in a separate page so that the recruiter doesn't lose the job that they're looking at currently. And we're going to have, of course, open job, hot job, and then you see the gold lined here. Recruiters do not see these. They see where they can advertise this job. If they want to, they can post it in a custom location or post on the original location. What that's going to do is going to put the user in a round robin. So any drivers that apply on DriveLineJobs.com for that position, it's going to do a round robin for each of the recruiters at your agency that wanted to work on this job. So when the driver fills out the short app or the full app, it's going to come onto the driver's page under that recruiter's name as a new app in. Down here we have the account. This is very important to make sure that you have it matching your billing and things like that, or if you want to automatically open and close jobs. If you have specific accounts set up, that does make that a lot easier. You've got your posting title, and everything that goes on to the open jobs on DriveLineJobs.com is going to be right here in this section, the job advertisement section, and it is going to also have the location. So the location section right here. So you're going to be able to see when you go on the public job board that anything that's in this box, links are not allowed. It's only text and information, and the city and state, and of course the hiring within is going to be on the job board. You can put over here any notes that you want your recruiters to see, any documents that are needed, and then you can come down here and see the recruiter job details. And this is stuff that you wouldn't necessarily want to put in your ad, but recruiters would need to know. Then we've got your attachments. These can be shared with the driver, these cannot be shared with the driver. And then once again your file auditing instructions. Now, once you have your account established and you start associating jobs with drivers, and maybe things didn't go through, maybe good potential future candidate, things like that, you can click on drivers associated, and it's going to show you all drivers that have this job associated with them, so you can go back for reference. You can click on this and associate a driver with a job directly from the job profile, so you don't have to hop back over to the driver's profile and click associate job. You can do it right from here. View attachments just shoots you down to the bottom. Share job is going to be where you can share share the job link with the driver, and they can go to drivelineJobs.com and see that job and be able to reference it there, or you can copy and text it or email it to them, and that's just going to copy this right here to be able to send to the driver. So basically, that in a nutshell, that's all of these areas right here. And so we're going to go over to the chat. So this is seated with a group chat. That's always going to be here at the very top. It's pinned there. All active recruiters are able to be in that group chat. If you ever need to remove anybody for any reason, you will just click here and click on Manage Members, and you can remove them from the chat. You can always add them back later after they've cooled down if needed. You can paste pictures in here. You can do GIFs. You can do emojis. You can upload documents, all that. The Read a Chat is going to be connected to this right here, so anything that you have asked here is going to get logged in this location, so that if you need to come back and reference anything, you can definitely do that. You can also do private one-on-one chats with your recruiters, and be able to take things out of the group chat if you need to explain something in depth a little bit more. Then we have the notification section. So this is going to let recruiters know when something's going on with their driver, if they got new apps in. Emails also get sent out for that. And we have inbox and viewed, so that you can keep up with anything that you've already taken care of. Now we will go to view your profile. So this is going to be an admin or team lead profile here. It looks very much like the recruiter profiles as well, though. You have your company's driver application link that you can easily come copy, and you remember I had that toggled to not use the DriveLine Full app, so you see that DriveLine Full app is not showing up here, only the short application link. But you can come in and click on edit, and you can come update your photo here, and that's going to show up here as well. And it will also show up on the application header with your somewhat business card. So when you post on DriveLineJobs.com, your phone number and your name and your email appear, and let that driver know that you are their recruiter, so they can reach out to you. So you want to make sure that all of your information here is correct and what you're wanting seen, publicly. So, and this also is if you submit a driver, to a carrier or something like that. This is if you do it through the system, this is the email that's going to come over with it. And you can come down here and put quotes in if you want. That's completely optional. The referral codes. So this is the one that comes with the system. It's automatically generated. However, if your agency has their own referral codes that they like to use in their applications, you can come in and it's going to insert it behind the R equals. So the R equals right there. If you put something in here, it's going to automatically put it there, and it's going to override the system referral code. So I'm going to cancel that. The job ads, so if you advertise a position on DriveLineJobs.com, this is where you can come manage those. If you decide you don't want to work on that job anymore, you can just close that, and of course you can delete them if you never want to work on that job again. Analytics is for your own personal view, for you to gauge how you're doing, apps in, hires, total drivers in the system. And then security, of course, is where you can come update your login email or your password. And then sales rep is a part of the platform that's coming soon. So that's pretty much an overview of the agency side of things. And I will point out one more thing with those hot jobs. Let's go into edit. You're able to keep jobs on that hot jobs list for as long as you want. It's automatically defaulted to 3 days, but you can put any amount of days you want in here to keep those jobs on that list. So if there's certain carriers that you really want to get drivers for, then you can come in here and update that as well. But last and the very not least, I will show you if you have any issues, because this is still in beta. Please do the submit an issue. This comes directly over to our IT department, and you can select a category. If you're not sure, just click other. It's perfectly fine. Describe the issue as well as you possibly can, and we absolutely love screenshots. So if you can send a screenshot of what's going on, we will get that fixed as quickly as possible and have you back up and going. Once again, this is in beta. There will be a few hiccups here and there, and that's why the pricing is what it is right now. But we absolutely love feedback. You can use that submit issue to even just give ideas if you want, because we do want this to be the go-to platform for all recruiting agencies. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything at all.